Hello there, and a very, very good evening. Yes, it's Tuesday evening, which means one thing and one thing only, the Planet Cruise TV show. Do you know, I'll be honest, I've had a bit of a stressful... You know, one of those days where you've just been running around and you don't stop and everything goes wrong. It's one of those days. So it's nice to sit down and plan our next cruises, isn't it? And guess who's back? We've got an amazing show, by the way, but Justin is back. Been away for a few weeks, haven't you?
I've been back.
Nice to see you. I've missed you, seriously.
I've
honestly missed you.
I'm excited to be back because tonight we've got a great cruise line that we're going to be featuring and some phenomenal deals, absolutely phenomenal deals.
We've got a special guest, Andy from Celestyal, coming up.
Yep.
Honestly, the most amazing cruise around the Greek island.
I was just going to say that the question is, have you ever wanted to do the Greek islands? This is one of the best ways to do it.
Honestly, and you're not going to believe what's included. It is just everything. It is, honestly, looking forward to that. There's a cruise at the end that's very special, isn't there?
For those of you that usually fly from Scotland, Manchester or from Newcastle, then stay tuned, because at the end of today's show we've got something you definitely want to stay tuned for.
That's an amazing deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And,
cruise news?
Cruise news, yes.
Cruise news, yeah. Regent Seven Seas have announced a brand new ship. She's not sailing until 2020. Who's going to be getting the best deals? On sale tomorrow, we are taking bookings for the brand new Regent Seven Seas Splendor. Take a look at that. Absolutely breathtaking.
I think we should try and get an invite, don't you?
An invite, what, for the launch ceremony? yeah, I'm game.
Same here.
Live from the launch.
If the top guys are watching, we'd love to be there, wouldn't we? Yeah. Obviously, their ships are amazing, but that looks spectacular. But on sale from tomorrow with Planet Cruise.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we begin?
We've got a lot.
You're not going to be rusty, are you?
Rusty? What, Rusty Justy? Used to be one of my nicknames on board the ship. But we won't go into that.
No, we'll leave that one there, Justin. But we are going to we're going to start off with an amazing deal with Marella Cruises. We'll keep saying it because I know a few of you might not realise, but this is Thompson, isn't it? Yeah. So Thompson rebranded as Marella. It's the same great ships, it's the same great staff, and Planet Cruise have brought the same great deals. Yeah. So if you love Thompson or Marella now, then this is definitely one to book. And there's the two magic words on the screen: all inclusive.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Are you still
You've had a stressful day.
Well, no, just again, are you still not drinking? That's my worry.
No, I've dipped in and out, shall we say? Dipped in and out.
Anyway, let's have a little look. Come on, now, and we get amazing feedback with Marella, don't we?
Yeah, and I think the thing to point out here is for those of you that have already cruised with Thompson and Marella, then you know the quality. For those of you that haven't, they take vintage cruise ships, they completely rebrand them. When I say rebrand them, refit them to an incredibly high and modern standard. But for Marella, it really is about the service and the staff, because it's exceptional. That feel that you get, and again, I worked with P&O Cruises for 6 years, and some of the staff that I worked with over 10 years ago are still at sea. So when you go to your cruise, you know, you've got your ships that you like, you go back and, it's like a member of the family you haven't seen for 6 months. You catch up, what have you been doing? How's your wife? How's the kids? So it really is that family feel.
I'm just looking here, by the way. The price is amazing because it's all inclusive.
Yeah.
8/9, and the date is for the 24th of August, 2019.
Yeah. I think
it really pays to book early on this one.
Well, and I was just going to say, booking early, your deposit is as little as £75 per person. And I've got him. I think you're probably the same as this. We work hard, we love our jobs, we're passionate about what we do, and we forget about us time, as in me time. And you go, oh yeah, we'll book something. You get to it and you book it last minute. Well, why not get a date in the diary? Whack the deposit down and away you go.
Let's be honest, Justin, I am quite good at booking cruises, aren't I?
You're not bad. You're not bad. There's still a little bit of refinement there.
No, I think I'm pretty good at booking cruises and getting away. You need to get more. You do.
I do. I need to get on a cruise. I've been on them for 10 years. Anyway, shall we go through the destinations? Because you're leaving from Newcastle.
Yeah.
So this is quite
really
unique.
Nice.
Yeah, this is fantastic. If you don't like flying, you're sailing out of the UK. I know there's some people that can't fly for medical reasons, so this is going to be perfect for you. You're actually going across to the Norwegian Fjords, and this is new for Marella, but it's a classic cruise destination. Bergen has got a beautiful waterfront. You've got all these colourful houses you go in every week if you hit the right day of the week. They've got a great fish market. One thing I recommend is the walk-in tours up into the mountains. It sounds quite athletic, but it's not. There's a vernacular railway that takes you to the top.
Yeah, that's what I did. It's just lovely to go up there. And also, you can see, oh, there you go.
Well, this is the classical music part of the cruise, because this is Edvard Grieg. You know, you've got all the wonderful sort of magical feel of the goblins and all the trolls of Norway and beautiful scenery.
Honestly, if you've not cruised around the fjords, it is magical. I've been lucky, I've cruised around twice, and it was just spectacular. And August, great time to go.
Yeah, and from memory, Bergen, I mean, most cruise destinations are very cosmopolitan and everybody speaks English, but Bergen in particular, I remember there was a restaurant I went into and they had about 8 different menus, and when you walked in, as soon as they heard your accent or your language, they gave you a menu of your home nation and spoke to you in that language. I was like, I was completely blown away. Anyway, one of the things with the fjords is cruising the fjords, and the next day, the first part of the day is spent in Geiranger Fjord, and this is where you see some of the most, it's a tick list. You've got to go and see the waterfalls in Geiranger, because you've got, I mean, these are so famous, they've got names. So you've got the Seven Sisters, you've got the Bridal Veil Falls as well. There's another couple of waterfalls as well, and generally what happens is either the captain or one of the tour excursion experts will give a little bit of commentary as you're going through the fjords, and they are breathtaking. I mean that gives you just an inkling of the perspective, because that is probably a 50 or 60,000 ton cruise ship in a massive fjord. So, but that's you know, I mean, look at that, it's breathtaking.
And I will say at this point, wait to see the prices we've got for the outside, so you've got wonderful views from your cabin as well. And then it's Alden next, isn't it?
Yeah, classic. This is an absolute beautiful port, but one of the things that you've got to go and do is see one of the glaciers. You've got the Brixton Glacier, which you can go and see. If you're feeling a little bit adventurous, you can actually go on the glacier, but we're not talking climbing a sheer wall. It's more of a steep hill, but with ice cramps on, so, you know, that's definitely one to see. Then Hawksand. Now, this is...
I didn't go here on mine.
No, this is new on me, but just looking into it, this is the birthplace of the Vikings. Effectively, King Harold, for 500 years, brought all of the Vikings together, and for 500 years ruled from this part. It's absolutely breathtaking itself. You've got St Olaf's Church here as well, which is definitely one to see, and a great museum. So if you want to go and see some of the history with Vikings, that's one of the best places.
Now some itineraries around the fjords don't include Flom, and this one does. And for me, it's a must.
Yeah, if you're going to go to the fjords, you've got to have Flom, Flam, tomato. It's all about this tour, and you've got to get it booked up early. One of the things tonight, when you book on the number at the bottom of the screen, the Planet Cruise experts will be able to advise you on the tours that get booked up early.
And this one, you can't just get the train on the day.
No. And if you'll be gutted, because it is one of the most legendary. You're climbing thousands of feet. There's something like 50 different tunnels, and it's one of the best ways of seeing, because you're going to be going up through the fjords to the top and then back down.
And what is amazing, the views change. You have lovely greenery when you set off, and then snow at the top.
Well, it's 3,000 feet, 20 mountain tunnels, and you see some of the great waterfalls as
wonderful.
Well. So. And then you've got a relaxing day at sea just to finish it off, and then you're back into Newcastle. For me, it's all about the value. It's a well-known brand. For those of you who love Thompson, Thompson's just rebranded to Marella, and get that deposit down for next year.
And we are noticing that things are changing. Often, you know, the late deals don't seem to come along that often. Quite often prices do rise. You've got a guaranteed price tonight of $889, and that includes all of your drinks, all of your tips.
Yeah,
it's all there.
And can I point out as well, at least if you book now, you've got options. If you do a last-minute deal right at the end, you've got to take what's there, but that's the last-minute deal price.
Doesn't the ship look beautiful?
Yeah, and again, what I said, when they rebrand and refit these ships, it's not just a lick of paint, it is completely new venues, new styles, new bars, new restaurants.
Well, we'd better just quickly recap what's included. Well, it's virtually everything, because it is an all-inclusive, our favourite 2 words on the show, with tips as well.
Your favourite 2.
Well, OK. And then a low deposit for only £75 per person, and this is for summer 2019. Bear in mind, that's a lead date there. That's a really busy time for holidays. The 24th of August, you've got an exceptional price there of $889.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I missed the horn as well.
Is that man overboard? I tell you what, they've gone overboard on these prices, because these are last-minute, last chance to book Marella deals. Now, there's some great inside prices, but look at the deluxe and even the suite prices.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you are on a budget, I'm noticing the outside is only £20 more from the inside. Now, we're looking at a 10-night Mediterranean Classics from Palma on the Marella Spirit. Departs not that... Oh, God, 3rd of May.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not long at all.
Wow.
Couple of weeks.
say we don't get loads of late deals anymore, but we've got one tonight.
Sean, have you seen the price? £57 per person per night for that lead price. You can't stay at home for that.
The last time I saw a price like that was 2005 on the show. but some great ports as well.
There you go.
So if you want that one, actually make a note of the ID number. It's 154262. All your tips are included, exclusive discounts tonight, and we have got return flights there from Bristol, but regional flights will be available for just a supplement there as well. But that is an absolute steal, say under £57 per person per night. But we have got a real gem for you coming up next. We've only featured Celestyal Cruises a couple of times on the show, and we've had a phenomenal success with them. Tonight is your chance of visiting the most beautiful Greek islands on a wonderful ship where so much is included. Again, there's magic 2 words, all-inclusive, tips, drinks, and a really authentic experience. And we've got a great guest to talk us. I want to book this one, seriously. Andy sold it to me, and I was like, I definitely want to do that. And Justin, we got carried away. Andy, nice to see you again.
Hi.
First time on the show.
Yes.
But I think your company is a bit of a hidden gem, really. You know, for many years, only kind of, the Greeks knew about you, very popular in Greece, but now you're kind of rolling the ships out.
Yes.
So we can all enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great Greek company, specialists in the Greek islands and what we call authentic Greek cruises. And we've been doing that very well for a number of years, but we felt it was time that we shared that with the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, my job is to, it's a great job. I mean, to spread the word and, communicate.
And aren't you vice president as well?
Well, yes. I mean, thank you.
He's very modest, isn't he? Yeah.
You promised me you wouldn't say that, yeah.
Oh, come on, yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it's to, to bring it to the UK and to other parts of Europe as well, but specifically the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah.
Well, I think it's really unique, though. Sometimes, when you have options, in the cruise industry, certainly within the industry, there's so many different options. But if you want the authentic Greek feel and you want the best of Greece and going to the Greek islands, some of the large cruise lines can't do that, as we'll touch on a little bit later on. So who do you go to? You go to a Greek specialist.
And Justin always does his homework. Numerous awards have been won for haven't they?
Yeah, so award-winning Best Greek Performing Company, so you can just enjoy it.
No. You have done your homework. It's,
Gold Award for sailing.
Yes.
Gold Award for travel experience. First place in category for Best Shore Excursions. And first place for best value, and that's all awards that are won this year. I've only noted the ones from this year. They've got 2017, 16, and 15 as well, but that just gives you some sort of an idea.
And I can add to that actually, because it's all about the service as well on board Celestyal Cruises, and we won best service very recently with Cruise Critic Award as well.
With Cruise Critic.
With Cruise Critic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, just before I give you a taster. So much is included. It's very much an all-inclusive cruise, isn't it?
All-inclusive. That's what we call it, all-inclusive. It is, obviously, the itinerary, which we can talk about, which you would expect
and in
from
fact,
a
we're
cruise,
just having a little look right now. But so it's all your drinks, it's your tips as well?
All your drinks, your gratuities and tips, and importantly, I think, as well, is we include 2 shore excursions as well. 3 shore excursions, in fact, on the 7-day cruise.
So you're going to get some of the great shore excursions. Now, we're looking here, we're going to get to see the very best Greek islands, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean,
Mykonos.
Mykonos is wonderful. We overnight in Mykonos, for example, which we can come back to in a second. Yeah. And in Santorini, Milos, which is a beautiful island and very, very, very unspoiled. Santorini, well, I mean, if you've not had a sundowner in Santorini and watched the sunset, you've not lived. And we overnight there, two full days.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to jump in, but it's not what I used to know as an overnight, where you sort of, you get in at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're gone the next afternoon. It's 8 o'clock in the morning you dock the first day, and you don't leave until 11 p.m. the following day.
Correct.
So you got all day, you've got the tours included, and the evening, and then the next day you can go back and do the sort of early morning, sort of early rise breakfast, coffee ashore, and there's some great early excursions as well, which we'll come back to later.
And it's one of the great advantages of being a Greek specialist,
yes,
and knowing the islands.
Of course.
And actually, we talk about an authentic experience, which I really do think that is. And
I think it's definitely important for those of you at home that aren't familiar with this brand as well, is that when we say Greek specialist, it is multinational and of course English speaking.
Absolutely.
So good though that you actually supply. I hope I don't know what I'm saying, but you actually supply crew and staff to other cruise lines. They don't want us to know this.
Some quite well known.
Yeah.
Cruise
Yes,
line, actually, yes, we do. Well, that's the
ones we have on the show.
Yes,
sometimes.
yes, sometimes. Yeah. That's something that we do. So I mean, we are very proud of our service delivery, and let's be honest, all cruise lines talk about great value for money and great service, and that is true, of course.
Of course.
But for our style of cruising, which is all inclusive, it really is about the staff and the way they interact with you. It's very, very relaxed, and just as if you can think really of the whole Celestyal cruise experience as being in a Greek resort, an all-inclusive Greek resort, and the scenery moves, and the best scenery appears the next day, and your entertainment, your meals, your shore excursions.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. I really do.
Yeah, it really is.
I think it will be a top seller tonight, actually. But let's talk you through where we're going to be visiting. So we fly from London over to Athens, don't we, Justin?
Yes, and just to point out, if you do want to extend your stay pre-cruise or post-cruise, then please do ask the Planet Cruise expert when you dial the number at the bottom of the screen, and we'll see whether we can arrange that for you. But yeah, starting in Athens, but your first port of call, we touched on this briefly, is Mykonos. And I think the best thing to point out here, we're talking about some of the most sophisticated and glamorous resorts on the face of the planet. I mean, as soon as you see those windmills, you think of Shirley Valentine, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
It's just that good, classic, old-school glamour. And the great thing about Mykonos is being there overnight is you see the two sides to this great island, because you have got that great daytime feel with the Greek tavernas. The nighttime, there's a great nightlife scene, and it's got something for everybody. I really do mean that, from one extreme to the other. Imagine what Ibiza was back in the 60s, where it was cool to go there. This is the unheard of. I think in a few years' time, go there before it gets spoiled.
And do you know, I remember last time I was on a cruise, I had to get back on the ship about 5 o'clock, and I was really gutted. I wanted to stay. You're overnight here, so you can explore the nightlife.
Just imagine sitting there with a gin and tonic. See, I've gone there straight away.
Yes.
A gin and tonic, watching the sun go down.
Amazing.
Or come back on board and have your gin and tonic, which is all included, and then go ashore again to experience the night.
That's a really good point.
That's
He's
one way
buying
of
a drink.
Anyway, whatever you do, you're going to have a great time. Where next? So we're overnight, as mentioned.
Overnight, and I think it's worth saying that the second day that you can go back and you can finish off, because Milos as well, great history. You've got the statue that's sort of the centrepiece in the Louvre in Paris. That was actually originally found on Milos, and it was donated by Louis XVIII. So I'm going back into history. So there is a sophisticated side, but look at that. I'm there. I'm there.
That's the Aegean.
From Mykonos, we're then going on to Santorini. Of course, Santorini's story really is it's Atlantis. Back in the 60s, they found a Bronze Age settlement, and they reckon there was around 30,000 people that were living here. And effectively, the reason why they think it was Atlantis is because the volcano rose out of the ocean and gave birth to this great isle. And if you think of Greek yogurt adverts, this is what you see.
And Andrew, you were telling us earlier that if you want to stay, if you wanted to book a hotel in Santorini.
Yes, yeah, we've learnt this quite recently, actually, and Santorini is such a popular destination, understandably, and such a go-to, cool, hip place that the minimum hotel stay is 3 nights.
Wow.
That they insist upon. So to be on a cruise and overnight, have 2 full days and almost a second night is, I would say, well, it is. It's unique. Yeah. It's completely unique.
And I think
for the
it's
cruise
worth
industry.
pointing out as well that Celestyal is one of, well, if not the only cruise line that can actually stay in port overnight. Again, this is where you've got that great relationship with, being a Greek cruise line and Greek islands. They're allowed to stay there.
Yeah.
The larger ships,
got all the contracts.
Yes.
They're not allowed to stay in overnight.
Yeah, and it's about the size of the ship as well, which is so important.
So mid-size.
Mid-size, yes.
Where's next then, Justin?
We're off to Heraklion. I was just talking about size. It's 25,000 tons, so one of the smaller ships on the scale. So
nice.
Beautiful. You're not going to get lost, put it that way. On to Heraklion, I think great historic day here for me. you know, the classic story. You remember Jason and the Argonauts when you used to watch it when you were growing up? Do you remember the Minotaur, the half man, half beast?
Yeah.
This is the mythical place of the Minotaur and his palace. So you want to go and see that. But it's the way you finish up, because Ephesus is one of those historical, you know, if you want to do the 7 wonders of the world, then this is definitely up there. And you're going to get to see the Temple of Artemis, you're going to get to, which is actually one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, Temple of Hadrian, the House of the Virgin Mary, Library of Celsus as well. But it's one of the things that's really unique, and I've never found this in the cruise industry before. Tell me, Andy, you get the choice of where you get off.
Yes, we on that particular day, and I hasten to add the Ephesus excursion is one of the included excursions that we offer.
Included in the price?
Included in the price, yeah, absolutely. So if you don't fancy doing the Ephesus tour that you describe, you can actually choose to get off in Patmos, and then the ship moves on, picks up the people that have done the Ephesus tour, and your choice of that additional port of call, or alternative port of call I should say, and you're picked up and you go on. So you get a choice.
I mean, how fantastic is that?
Yeah, but again, one of the reasons probably why you can do it is because of the size of the ship. Usually if you've got a ship that's 125,000 tonnes, to get that amount of people off and get back on and dock and come away again with a 25,000 tonne ship and a few hundred people, that's what you're booking here.
Yeah, 900 guests in total.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Wow. And then back to Athens, where you disembark and transfer to the airport and flown back, of course, to London. And as, just to mention, you can add X nights in Athens, either pre or post cruise as well. Now let's just recap what's included. It's unbelievable value tonight. It's an all-inclusive cruise with selected excursions and exclusive discounts included. We've got a special upgrade on the 14th of May or the 13th of August departures, where you get an upgrade from inside to an outside as well, and return flights based on London Gatwick or Bristol, based on the lead date there. And also we've got those pre or post stays that you can add in Athens as well. Now the prices, got something extra special to say about these as well. As we mentioned, we've got some free upgrades on selected dates. But also, I know they're not on the screen, but we do have some great single prices, don't we?
Yeah, we've got singles from £1,299. And a good thing to point out is the actual single, when we say the single price there, it's not for a single cabin. That's actually for a normal sized cabin, and it's just you in there. So it's even better value.
Right. Now, the most important slide.
Always restricted.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, dude. Oh, sorry, I'm terrible, aren't I? But I was, you know what I'm like with drinks packages. I was thinking, well, I presume they might, you know, at this price, I did not expect to get branded spirits, but they are, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
So things like, I mean, I'll have made gin. What would I get?
Oh, you get a Beefeater or a Gordon's with the mixers you would expect.
Great.
Smirnoff vodkas, Jim Beam bourbons, and recognised brands of beers, both on draft and so.
Fantastic.
I mean,
and a nice choice of wines when it comes to, you know, your white, red and rosé.
Absolutely.
And Greek wines as well.
Yeah.
And one thing to point out as well, just I mean, you sold it to me, Andy. I want to come on a Celestyal cruise.
Well, you're very welcome.
It's about the range of food as well. It's authentic Greek, but you can have pasta if you want. You've got a la carte. The choice is there.
That's brilliant.
Cheers.
And hang on.
It's not another man overboard, is it?
I love it. When you hear the horn, it means we've got something really special. You've got a few price reductions on these cruises here. These are amazing. If you just want a little taster package, we've got these right now. And that's a 5-night package with a 2-night Athens stay. Price is from $679. And then a 7-night package with a 3-night Athens stay. Prices starting at just $779. Have those just come down?
Yeah, literally come out. And if I could also just add, if you look at those October dates, in case people are thinking, oh, really interesting time to go to the Greek islands, I can absolutely assure you, one would say it's almost a great time to go.
I agree.
The weather calms down, it's less windy, and it's a balmy 25, 26 degrees as opposed to 40 degrees.
Yeah,
you know?
on a great time to go. And there are exclusive price reductions to Planet Cruise there as well. And we have got dates in 2019 on sale now as well, with some new destinations including Cyprus, Egypt and Istanbul as well. I want to say a massive thank you to Andy. We were both very excited about that. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to coming on board.
It's been a pleasure. It's really has been
Hang on, me too.
Yeah, you can come along.
Yeah.
You can jump in the suitcase.
Well, you've seen the price.
Exactly, it's amazing. It seriously is. Seriously is. Anyway, we'll see Andy soon. But we're going to move on to our next deal. And, my first cruise was with Royal Caribbean, and we've got them next with the Explorer of the Season. It's a 60-night cruise taking you over to Singapore, India, and over to Dubai. Now, we start off in Singapore, and we're actually there for 2 nights in a wonderful 4-star hotel. I love Singapore, but when I was there, I was only there for a night, which wasn't quite enough. We actually get 2 nights here. Just in Singapore, it's a very special place, isn't it?
It's one of my favourite destinations. Straight away, you can see Raffles Hotel with a Singapore sling was created. It's also where you can go, and they've just recently had a refurb as well at Raffles Bar. So the long bar where the Singapore sling comes from, you can go in there and you can eat monkey nuts. They actually give you like a Hessian bag of nuts, and they encourage you to break the monkey nuts and just chuck them on the floor. And you actually walk in and it's just crunch, 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 crunch. At night, Clark Quay, that's the place to be at. You've got to go to some of the hawker markets as well, but near enough anywhere in Singapore you can see the Marina Bay Sands. It's worth going up to the top. It's a little bit more expensive up at the bars at the top there, but it's definitely worth going up to get some photos. And the Fountain of Wealth, I do believe it's one of the largest structures of its kind in the world. So Singapore's great. I've got to point out as well, 4-star hotel is probably a lot more than you usually expect in Singapore.
I agree.
And I'm not just saying this, but
I've
been very lucky to travel some very exclusive places and with work. and 4-star in Singapore is some of the best service that you're ever going to get.
And you also get the Gardens by the Bay tour included in this, don't you?
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the things you have to do when you go to Singapore. There's these fantastic structures that you'll see these gorgeous lights at night. One of them is actually got a bar at the top that you can go up and see. And it's one of the best places to actually see the Marina Bay Sands because you're from the other side of the city. So looking back at the city, great flower dome in there. So if you love your botanicals, then you'll love that. But for me, it's walking around. There's actually a walkway. There you go. There's the Skyway that you can walk around. I think there's something like a dozen of these structures there. It's absolutely phenomenal.
It looks out of this world, really, doesn't it?
I love Singapore.
So we've had our stay in Singapore. Then we're going to take you on board the fabulous Explorer of the Seas. The video we're showing you is the sister ship, the Voyage of the Seas, but they're virtually identical, aren't they?
And again, you get the same great service with Royal Caribbean. I've actually got a very good friend of mine now who used to be a singer on the cruise ship, who got married to an engineer who's now gone back on the cruise ship for a holiday with their 2 young sons. So that gives you some sort of an idea of the memories that you do make. I mean, Royal Caribbean, it's the destination of fun, from ice rinks, rock climbing walls, pitch and putt, and all the usual amenities that you get from great cuisine and great shopping. The promenade as well.
I mean, you will never, ever be bored with Royal Caribbean. It's impossible. There's always so much to do and so much to choose from. But you're going to see some incredible places. So we get on board and we're going to Penang, isn't it, first of all?
Yeah, this is off to Malaysia. One of the things that I'd recommend here is the Butterfly Farm, and I just love the whole story of the place. As the story goes, they needed to clear the island of the undergrowth, so somebody fired a cannon full of gold coins and told the locals to go and find the gold coins, and of course they had to go through all the undergrowth. So you've got that great culture there. I absolutely love Malaysia. Then you've got 3 days at sea, and then we're off to India. And Cochin is got a very Portuguese feel. And I'd go to say you've got Portuguese feel here, you've got a Dutch palace, you've got a synagogue, and you've got Chinese floor tiles in there as well. So it's a melting pot of culture that is just amazing. But this is the build-up for the biggie. You're going to Mumbai, you're going to Bombay, and certainly for the cruise industry, there's a lot of Indian staff that work on board the cruise lines. It's a big day for them. It's going to be a big day for you because you can get to go and see the Taj Mahal, you can go to see the Gandhi Museum, and the Dhobi Ghats as well, which is known as the world's largest laundry. So effectively, on the bank of the Ganges, you can see them all washing their clothes there. It's just a real cultural immersion there. But just remember your cabin steward on that day. That's all I'll say.
If you need some washing doing, could you take it?
No, send it to the laundry on the ship. Let them get it. Let the boys and the girls go ashore and see their families, because for some of these guys, they're away for like 9 months, 10, 12 months of the year. So
and it must be magical to go back and see.
For those of you that are regular cruisers, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And the sail away is epic because all the families are down there. So you get that real feel. I know, you get sort of whirled up talking about it. But 2 days at sea, and then you're in to Dubai. Yeah, we're going to Dubai, baby. And this is one of the first times I went, was just tail end of last year. It's phenomenal. From the Palm Islands, you've got to go down there and see Atlantis. You can head out into the desert on some of the tours there, but for me, go to the Mall of the Emirates, go and see the Burj Khalifa. I think something like every 15 minutes they have a light and sound show, and it's a different piece of music every 15 minutes. So it's definitely there you go. This is the Burj Khalifa. The metro system's fantastic. It's incredibly clean. It's like a city of the future. When you've been there, tell me what it's like when you come back. And it's just remarkable. Then that's overnight, I've got to point out. That's overnight in a 4-star hotel. And then you're back, coming back to the UK, back to London.
Great. So you've got quite a bit of time in Dubai, haven't you? So you're overnight on board, then you also get the 2 nights.
2 nights,
in the 4-star hotel.
Again, this is what I call a bookend cruise. You get a 2-night stay before, you get your cruise, and your 2-night after.
I like those. So this, I mean, again, amazing price for this. So, as I just mentioned, a 2-night hotel stay, rather, in Singapore, and you get the Gardens by the Bay tour. Also, the 2 nights at the end there in Dubai, and it's an 11-night cruise with up to $500 on-board spend as well, and return flights based on London there as well, and only, of course, a deposit tonight. Yeah, very nice, that one. Oh, wow. That horn's going off a lot today, isn't it?
Is that Cape Horn? I'm not too sure. Anyway, Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Right, I know you're probably thinking, why are they talking about Christmas in April? But I'm telling you now, if you want a cracking deal with Saga, then you can go to Hamburg to see the Christmas markets, and I can highly recommend it, so much so that I actually got engaged in Hamburg. Don't ask me how long ago it was. But this is with Saga. You get free Wi-Fi, gratuities as well, chauffeur service or parking, and a bottle of champagne in every cabin when with the bookings.
So you get an awful lot with that one, don't you?
It's phenomenal. And again, 4th of December, go to see the Christmas markets. It's a 6-night deal, just reduced. So get that one booked now.
And so we don't often have Saga on the show, but when we do, it is something special. That has just been reduced as Justin said.
There's also
right now.
actually we also do an optional insurance package as well. So ask the guys when you book about that one. Just give them a call. The number's at the bottom of the screen. Ask them about the Christmas cruise to Hamburg, and ask about the additional insurance as well.
I know Joe we were speaking to earlier, who was with everyone from the show tonight. She'd been on a Saga cruise at the moment. She said the standards were outstanding.
Have you done a Christmas market though?
No.
You've got to do a Christmas market. You'll love the glühwein.
No,
it's brandy and red wine.
I'm not allowed to take holiday in December. You need to speak to the big bosses for me. I know.
Shopping tally, retail. Anyway.
That's why I haven't done it, seriously.
Moving on. The bosses are watching.
I don't think, I'll try and work my charm. I don't think it'll work.
It's for cruise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's important. Anyway, we've still got loads to show you. We're going to move on to celebrity cruises next on board the Celebrity Silhouette. It's a 30-night Canary Island cruise from Southampton.
The only thing I've got to say on this one, I mean, Celebrity, for those of you that know Celebrity, it's a great price. But we have got an offer that ends tonight. You have to book it tonight. If you want up to $500 of onboard spend, then you have to book tonight.
And it goes down after tonight,
It goes down after tonight. So if you're a Celebrity fan, now is the reason to...
And the inside, you get $200 on board spend time. That's just for the inside, but again, that goes tomorrow, doesn't it?
And there's a free upgrade, but we'll go through all of that.
Of course we will.
I just wanted to, I don't want you to miss out on that onboard spend, because... That's a lot of money.
And you can always just give us a call tonight and talk through everything, can't you? But let's start off with this beautiful ship. As many of you know, I've cruised with Celebrity 8 times now. So...
Only 8?
It's not meant... Compared to some people, it could be a lot more.
Exactly.
But it shows you how wonderful they are. They really have the most incredible reputation in the industry. Their ships are simply stunning.
Yeah. I'm going to turn this around. Why do you cruise with Celebrity?
Well, I do cruise with other people as well, but with Celebrity, they've never disappointed me. You know, the ships are beautiful, they're modern, luxury. I think they're very special in so many different ways. They've quite a lot of unique touches of celebrity. Like the entertainment is really, really cutting edge.
Best wine collection at sea.
Yeah.
Martini slush bar.
I love that.
First restaurant at sea to order from an iPad. I know it's getting a little bit old school now, but cuisine,
yeah.
that was the first place to do it. It is. There's a lot. I used to get cruise ship envy when we used to see the celebrity ships. I remember seeing a celebrity ship in Russia, of all places, and the sun was setting against the glass, and I was like, see the passengers getting back on board, you know, just the orange juices and the water on the quayside. I was like, that's a nice touch. I'd like to get on there one day, you know?
Yeah. They're very special, and you'll know if you've already cruised celebrity. Anyway, let's talk through. No flying on this one. So straight out of Southampton. So means your cruise starts straight away, and your first days at sea, which is always nice. You get to explore the ship, settle in a bit. And we're making our way over to Vigo, aren't we?
Yeah, I was actually going to say, so some of these ports we haven't actually done for a long time on the Tuesday show. So Vigo, classic cruise port. If you want to make the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, you can do. It's about 10 minutes away in a cab ride. Or you can just have a little bit of wander around town. I'd ease my way into the cruise by wandering around, because it's a great fish market. The cobbled streets and the old churches is quite nice. So ease yourself in nicely. Lisbon is your next port call. I love this place. Absolutely love it. Every time we used to go in there as a crew member, it was all about chicken and chips. Matthias Rosé and chicken and chips. You've got the Monument of Discoveries, which is just down from the cruise port. You definitely have to do a tram ride, but just make sure you do get a ticket, because they are quite hot on the tickets on the tram. There's the Belém Tower as well, and shopping's really good here. Back in the day, there was a fashion brand that came out of Portugal, should we say, and we used to make full opportunity of our stop in Portugal. It was like straight to that place.
It is a lovely place. I only went there for the first time last year on a cruise, and it was wonderful, it really was. Next day's at sea, and then we get to the Canaries. So this is where the temperatures really start to rise.
Yeah, Lanzarote, you know, straight away. A good friend of mine actually went on holiday to Lanzarote as his main holiday, and he said, you've got to go to Los Llanos del Agua, which is basically the underground, I was going to say cave. It's a lake that's underground, and it's a Cesar Manrique design. And it's unbelievable. You walk in there and it's like a football stadium. It's this lake, and there's a lovely little restaurant at the end. But again, I mean, the Canary Islands is fantastic. You've got Porto del Carmen here, which has got the longest beach. You've got great cafes, and also great water sports as well on Lanzarote. Then we're off to Gran Canaria. My last memory of Gran Canaria was getting off the ship and getting a bike and just riding down the coastline. It was brilliant. Stop every now and again in a little cafe just to rehydrate. But Gran Canaria is fantastic. If you want to head into the centre of the island, of course, you've got a lot of volcanic activity. You've got the Bandama crater, which is one of the only volcanic craters which is actually inhabited, because it's dormant, so which is quite nice. Of course, a lot of history here with Christopher Columbus as well. Then we've got Tenerife. This is classic. You remember Tenerife from your whole Lesbia family? This is your chance to go back there if you've never been. Oh, wow, you're going to love it.
Do you know, we always used to stay in the really quite busy touristy areas, but there's so much more to it.
I was going to say, you stay in the resort and you don't head out. That's the great thing with a cruise. You can just drop in and just do it all in one day and then go, oh, I'd quite like to go back there.
But when you start heading up to the mountains, it's beautiful, isn't it?
The Orotara Valley as well, and the Humboldt viewpoint is just fantastic. Off to our next port call, Madeira. One of my favourites. I'd love to just go to Madeira right now. There's a little restaurant that's just opposite the port that does steak on a stone. And it's literally the biggest and the best piece of meat. Sorry, vegetarians, if you're watching. But if you're a meater, you know what I'm talking about. And it's on a stone that's just red hot. And it's just some of the greatest. Anyway, also Madeira. Blandy's wine is great. Obviously, Madeira wine and Madeira cake. Also, there's a great flower market here that you can get the local, what they call the birds of paradise.
Oh, yeah.
You can get them. I actually brought back, it was Madeira's towards the end of the cruise, and I grabbed a bunch because my parents are coming down to Southampton on like 2 days after, so get some brownie points for mum, as you say. Then we've got a relaxing day at sea, and we're off to La Coruña. Now, I love the history of this place. There's a fantastic monument called the Torre de Hercules, and it's effectively the world's first lighthouse. It's a great structure. There you go. It's been adapted over the years, but great town. And if you love your history, then you can get out there. Then we're off to Bilbao. Here you want to go and see the Guggenheim Museum. and great food here. You've got that mixture of the Basque French style and the Castilians of Madrid as well. It just comes together. Great, great food. Head to the Old Quarter as well. There's a lovely basilica there. Then you've got a relaxing day at sea, which rounds it up, and then back into Southampton. But that's just going through those. I mean, look at that's a classic Iberian coast and Canary cruise.
So very quickly, I'll just go through what's included here. Really important, you get a free classic drinks package and $300 onboard spend on Ocean View and above. If you book an Ocean View or above, you'll qualify for our half-price gratuities offers, and it gets even better. Tonight, you actually get a free upgrade from Ocean View to a balcony. And if you book a suite class for premium drinks package, you'll get $300 onboard spend, Wi-Fi and free gratuities as well. But the extra onboard spend finishes tonight. You get up to $500.
Up to $500. You have to book it tonight, so get on the phones and at least make that inquiry. You don't want to miss out on that.
And drinks-wise, one of the best drinks packages at sea. So
you should know.
I certainly do. So a huge selection of spirits, and of course wines and selected beers, and all of your soft drinks and specialty coffees as well. Your specialty coffees, I should say. Now, God, so we've got so much still to get in, haven't we?
Yeah.
Busy show. But we're going to move on now to Oceania cruises. What?
Do you know what? So in the cruise industry, Oceania is known as one of the best.
Yeah. But
I think what sums it up is I've got something that I worked with a while ago now. They went on an Oceania cruise, and their tagline was, by the end of the cruise, we were sick of lobster and champagne. What a first world problem, right? But that sums it up, lobster and champagne on tap.
One of our presenters here on Idyllic.
I wasn't going to...
I'm not going to mention names. But she went on board with a partner.
She?
Yeah, that narrows it down. And she never got off the ship for the whole cruise.
Yeah.
The ship was so amazing, and the food and everything. She never took a step off the ship. And it stopped at some amazing places. Yeah. So that's how shows how good they are. So we're flying from London. It's got a really actually unusual itinerary, this one, really special. To New York, and we actually stay there for a single night, don't we?
I implore you, if you've never done New York before, I know you're well-travelled, I know you're successful people watching at home, you've got to go and do the Big Apple. It's the city that never sleeps, so you shouldn't either. And the sail out of New York is going to be epic. Don't go across the Liberty Island, because you're going to see it as you sail out. That's the great thing. But a wonderful, wonderful way to start off.
And then you're transferred to port, of course, and you get on board this beautiful ship, the Insignia, for a 10-night cruise. And let's just give you a little taster of what life is like on board. Again, we are talking about the most beautiful, exquisite ships of the highest calibre.
Let's not beat around the bush. Look at the price. You get what you pay for. This is an experience once in a lifetime for some of us. The crew to passenger ratio, 1 crew member to 1.7 passengers.
I mean,
that gives you some sort of maximum capacity on board is 684
and by the way, we're just looking at some of the specialty restaurants, including Red Ginger. They're included, aren't they?
That's all included. There's no extra supplements. You get free internet, you get free dining at all the specialty restaurants, you get all of your unlimited soft drinks, bottled water, cappuccinos, teas, juices, shuttle service from the ship to the port itself as well, and free room service 24 hours a day.
God. I mean, you are actually, when you break down the value, it's incredible, this one. Now, we're moving on to our next port, which is Newport. Our first port, I should say, Newport.
All I've got to say about this is mansions. It's just luxury mansions, and they're basically, they're frozen, some of them in time, so you can go and see how this area really, really grew. Next port of call is Boston. It's hailed as the cradle of the American independence. You've got the trail there as well. You've got Harvard Square, Charlestown Navy Yard as well, so you can see some of the old warships. I'd head to the bar that they filmed Cheers at.
I would,
Allegedly. It's a Cheers bar, basically. If you love the TV series, you've got to go and do it. It's on Beacon Street, and there's great shopping and great food down here. Really is. Then we're off to Bar Harbour. Funnily enough, have you know Murder, She Wrote? With Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine Bar Harbour, because it's that lobster pot community. It's fishermen and writers and bibbidi bobbidi boo. It's some of the greatest lighthouses in the world. I think it's the most photographed lighthouse in the world is in Bar Harbour, but you'll absolutely love it. There's also Thunder Hole as well, which just sort of briefly there. It's really unique. So basically I know it sounds like Thunder Hole. And there you go. The water comes in and there's a very small outlet, and as it claps in there, it makes this crashing thunder sound, and this sort of, it's almost like a geyser where the water flies up. You've got to go and see and do it. Anyway, then we're off to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and here there's Peggy's Cove, which again, one of the most photographed lighthouses. It's just absolutely stunning. But there's also the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. Now, for those of you that are big fans of cruising, one of the most iconic ships has to be the Titanic. And there's Titanic memorabilia and original pieces that have been brought up from the wreck. They're actually in that museum. So for some of you that are big fans on ships and cruising, some people go, why is he mentioning that on a cruise show? We love cruise ships, and I think it's one of the greatest stories. Anyway, 2 relaxing days at sea, and then we're off to Bermuda.
Do you know, we hardly ever feature Bermuda on the show, do we?
I had 2 weeks in Bermuda when we were having a ship refitted. It is one of the best experiences ever. Absolutely amazing. You're actually docking in St George, which is one of the 4 ports that I think you can actually dock in. You've got all of the historic stuff for the harbours there. You've got Horseshoe Bay Beach, which is pretty pink sand, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. You've also got the Crystal Caves, so think a Wookiee Hole, but in the Caribbean. That's what you got, and I think I'd rather be seeing it in the Caribbean. There's also the Royal Naval Dockyard as well, so there's plenty to see and do there. Relaxing day at sea after that, before you come back to New York, and that's a really bad accent, and then fly back. However, if one night isn't enough for you in New York, then you can extend that. So just ask if you're travelling that way, you've got to do a couple of nights in New York. And if you want any recommendations, email us and I'll give you some of the best places to go.
I really like that itinerary. So let's just remind you, get a lot included on this one.
Yeah, a lot.
So it's a brand new offer. You're going to get free gratuitous nights. You're going to get Wi-Fi, $600 onboard spend. That's a lot of money. Drinks and excursions.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this is Oceania.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot. So, and also the night is mentioned in New York. And if you'd like to add on an additional 2-night stay in Niagara, New York, and do the Amtrak, you can do that from £749 per person. Just call for details. Price was that. It's really good for Oceania. Really good, actually. And we should point out the prices are for balconies. So we're not talking about inside or outside. Yeah. They are balcony prices as well.
Yeah, by the way, if you go for a suite, you do get a butler, and it's from the Guild of Professional British Butlers.
Wow. The penthouse suites are amazing, by the way. You can see there the prices there. If it is something really special, if you can stretch to it, they are starting at under £3,500. That's very nice, that one.
How do we follow that, Sean, I hear you ask?
How do we follow that, Justin?
With a princess cruise on a newly refitted ship and one of the best Caribbean itineraries that I have seen in a long time. Honestly, when we see princess cruises, we go, great deal, this would be a bestseller. And it's a good itinerary around the Caribbean, the highlights. This itinerary is one of the best itineraries of the Caribbean.
Honestly,
I love it.
The pair of us, when we saw the show, we both said, wow, that princess cruise at the end is an absolute
You get
corker.
right down to the ABC Islands, but we'll go through it.
And we mentioned at the beginning of the show that we had something really special in terms of where you fly from an airport. Yeah. We've got a choice here of...
So, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Manchester or Newcastle.
No extra cost. I know.
See? We look after you.
Well, let's start off. We fly you to Fort Lauderdale from one of those airports you choose, and we're there for a night. There's some great shopping at Fort Lauderdale, isn't there?
Yeah, Sawgrass Mills. To be fair, though, in the evening, I'm not too sure actually what time you're actually going to be touching down. But if it's in the evening, there's a really sort of quite chilled nightlife scene, which is worth doing to acclimatise and try and sort of combat that jet lag.
And if you've not got time to shop at night, you'll have time early on in the morning.
Crikey, you. Shopaholic. And something else that sounds like holic.
How are you?
Should we crack on? Because there's a lot of points in this Caribbean cruise. You're going to get on board the Caribbean
She's
Princess.
just been refitted?
I think it was last year. She's just been refitted. So usually when a ship's been refitted just the year before, and she's got brand new venues as well on this one. So if you do know your Princess ships, then there's some great new venues.
I was on her about 3 years ago and she was still great then. Anyway, let's give you a little taster of what she looks like. Got some images for you. Because the first 2 days are at sea, aren't they? So you get to explore the ship, try everything out.
And this as well. So new from March last year, you've got the family style of planks, which is loaded with ribs at Planks Barbecue. And you've got Coffee and Cones, which is a new gourmet ice cream restaurant. The Salty Dog and the Slice, which is formerly the pizzeria as well. And there's an updated Sabatini's Italian Trattoria.
But I've got to say, the standards with Princess, they are amazing. So I've cruised with them a couple of times now, was very, very impressed. What? Is that friend of yours?
No, I recognised the captain.
Did you?
I think that was Charlie. Yeah, sorry, Captain Charlie. Anyway, as you do. But fantastic that you can really take those 2 days to find your way around your floating resort, effectively.
And then... Ooh, we're making our way over, I'm feeling really hungry now, to St Thomas. Don't do that to me. To St Thomas.
Right, just think of the beach now, because you won't feel hungry, because you'll be like, right, beach pod, get ready. So St Thomas, it's some of the best beaches in the world, fact. Really, really good amenities. It's very Americanised, great shopping there. So all of your American fashion brands and good duty free as well. Then we're off to Antigua. Antigua, 365 beaches for 365 days of the year, and history coming out of its ear rolls. You've got Nelson's Dockyard and also Stingray City. So if you love your wildlife, then definitely go and see that. Then we're off to St Kitts. Personally, it's all about the outdoor activities here. You have got Brimstone Hill Fortress, which is great for your history. It's known as sort of the Gibraltar of the West Indies. The actual soil here, because it was volcanic, it was really good for the sugarcane. So that's why it's one of the most important islands. It was really sort of fought over during a certain period of time. Also, Romney Manor is one of the greatest plantations. So if you want to go there. Port Zante, which you can see on the screen in front of you, is also good for bringing back some nice little gifts. Then we're off to Martinique, known as the Isle of Flowers. It's also got a fantastic rum distillery. Oh yeah. So much so, you know, like bottles of wine, you get the AOC, the Apertoire, I can't remember how to pronounce it now, but it's a certain certification. They've actually got the same equivalent for rum on this island, so it's absolutely fantastic. Then we're off to Barbados. Barbados, I hate to sound really swanky, and a lot of people go, oh, hark it in. Barbados to me is like Southampton. I know it like the back of my hand. We were in there every 2 weeks overnight, so I know the best haunts, I know the best British breakfast, a good old English fry-up. I'm telling you now, Barbados, get to the boatyard, all of the crew will be there, and if you know anything about cruising, follow where the crew go. It's usually the best place. Anyway, silence, move on. Trinidad. This is one of the only places in the Caribbean that I've ever seen skyscrapers, because this is one of the only islands where their revenue doesn't actually come from tourism. It's something completely different. But if you want your beaches, you can go there. It's great hustle and bustle. It's got a different city feel, shall we say. Then we've got a relaxing day at sea before we hit the southern Caribbean, the ABC Islands. So you've got ABC, Aruba, Bonaire and Curacao. Curacao is your port of call, and yes, this is where the famous Curacao liqueur comes from. So you can try that. So if you do like your drinks, then you know, whether it's a Blue Lagoon, a Zombie, a Bleeding Heart or a Fuzzy Pirate, I love that. I'll have a Fuzzy Pirate. I love the Fuzzy Pirate. Anyway, it's my Jack Sparrow impression. Queen Anne Bridge is lovely in Curacao, though, and Governor Grill. If you want a really good restaurant, go to Governor Grill. Then we're off to Aruba. Aruba is known as One Happy Island. In fact, that's their catchphrase. All of the license plates has got One Happy Island printed on them. Very Americanised. You've got fantastic facilities here. You've got... Get off. Talking of pink flamingos, there's a legendary cocktail called the Pink Iguana, which you can actually get just outside it with there's a place called Iguana Joe's. So if you know the Caribbean, it's like your TGI Friday sort of thing, and you've got to go there and have one of those. Then you've got 2 relaxing days at sea to really sort of, you know, look back over that amazing...
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, you look at all the beautiful places you can be visiting.
I love the fact that you go to Aruba and Curacao.
Yeah.
And there's also dates that are going very close to Christmas.
Yeah. So just to remind you, you get the night pre-cruise in Fort Lauderdale. You can spend, we have got dates for Christmas and New Year. I would love to do that. One day I definitely will. Itineraries, they differ slightly depending on the departure dates, just call for details. Return flights based from London, but what makes this really special tonight, so we have got flights from London, but we also have flights from Glasgow, Edinburgh, Manchester and Newcastle at no extra cost. We think that's an amazing way to finish the show. But price-wise, yeah, got some great prices throughout those various dates. Do you know, the outsides and the balconies as well? You know, when you look at the difference in price, really worth stretching those. And the mini suites, I once had a mini suite with Princess. They're really nice. Really. All right, no, only once. It was a friend's 50th birthday, so it was a special occasion. But let's recap. Let's recap. I've been very lucky, I know. We started off with Marella, all-inclusive. It's the Fjords Explorer from Newcastle, so that's all of your drinks and tips, a low deposit from only £75, and that is for the 24th of August 2019. That is amazing. I think that will go very, very quickly. Yeah. Then we had Andy from Celestyal.
Yeah, my favourite one of the night. If you ever want to do the Greek Isles, this is the way to do it because the ship is fantastic. ID number 159408. Get on the phone lines right now because it's all inclusive. You get 3 tours included as well and an experience that you'll remember for a lifetime.
We then moved on to Royal Caribbean on board the Explorer of the Seas. This fabulous 60 nights Singapore and India to Dubai with stays as well. You get the 2 nights in Singapore, the 2 nights in Dubai, the extra Gardens by the Bay tour, and that 11-night cruise with onboard spend up to $500. ID number 175272.
Yeah, then we're on to Celebrity, and this is a rare opportunity. If you book tonight, you can get up to $500 worth of onboard spend, but it has to be tonight, and that is on the that's going off to the Canary Islands. So get the deposit down on that one. The ID number on there is 130383.
Oceania were next. Outstanding. This is the absolute pinnacle of luxury. This price, by the way, is for balcony, but it's a brand new offer. You're going to get free gratuities, Wi-Fi, $600 spend, drinks and excursions, and also stay in New York there for a night. And that is available right now, ID number 128143. Then finally...
Yeah, Princess, one of the best Caribbean itineraries that I've seen in a long time, and the opportunity to spend Christmas and New Year in the Caribbean. Count me in. ID number on that one is 149082.
Do you know what I have realised tonight? The weather's still miserable outside, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just doesn't it make you want to get away to some sunshine? It's still raining.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable. Just so nice to see you again. Are you with me next week?
No, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Okay. Well, I'll be here next week. Justin will be back in 2 weeks' time. But book that cruise because I bet you're sick of the rain, aren't you? When are we going to get some heat in the UK? Maybe never. But some guaranteed sun on the cruise we've had tonight. We'll see Justine in a couple. Justin, man. It's all right. Sorry, man. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Hi all, thanks for watching that video. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe below. Remember to click that bell to get all notifications. And if you're looking for more fantastic travel video content like this, then click on the videos to the right, it'll be really informative, or click on the planet logo to the left to go to our website for more fantastic deals.